Good morning, and thank you for joining us for St. Louis University's 2024 New Student Convocation and Family Welcome. I ask you to please silence all cell phones. Students and families, the bearer of the University Mace, Dr. Mike Lewis, Provost of St. Louis University. We now present the academic deans, the Student Government Association President, the President's University Leadership Council, and members of the Board of Trustees. Stage party, you may be seated. We now present the President of St. Louis University, Dr. Fred Pestello. The faculty of the schools and colleges of St. Louis University will be escorted by the university marshals. Please welcome the endowed chairs and professors and faculty of St. Louis University. Faculty, you may be seated. To welcome everyone today, it is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Mike Lewis, the Provost of St. Louis University. As our Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Lewis oversees not only our educational enterprise, but also numerous areas that support students outside of the classroom. Under his leadership, the university has adopted an ambitious academic strategic plan, a collaborative roadmap that will guide SLU's scholarly work for the next several years. Dr. Lewis?
Good morning. It's wonderful to be with you today, and welcome to St. Louis University. I am so excited that you're joining us here to pursue your education, to pursue your dreams. Let me start by saying that St. Louis University is, first and foremost, a university grounded in academic rigor. You will be challenged here. You excelled at your high schools, and you are surrounded by others as talented and driven as you. Here at SLU, we have world-class faculty experts in their fields, and they will hold you to the very highest of standards. One of the great opportunities you will encounter here at SLU is the ability to engage with your faculty in their research and their scholarly areas. You will learn not only the critical elements of the disciplines you study, but you will also learn to be creative within those areas. The goal is not merely the acquisition of knowledge. Our hope is that with the beginning of your career here at SLU, this is your first step toward the generation of knowledge. I think that is so important. I think that's worth saying again. Our goal is that this is your first step toward the generation of knowledge. You didn't spend your time in high school to come to university so that in 4 years from now, you go out into the world and you work on problems that have already been solved. We will push you to use the knowledge that you learn here to solve problems that have not yet been solved. God has endowed you with talents, and this world has great challenges. And our goal is to develop you to the point where you use your talents to meet the world's great challenges. Our faculty think deeply about educating you toward this end. And one of those faculty members is our MC for today's ceremony, Dr. Lisa Dorsey, and I am pleased to introduce her now. Dr. Dorsey is SLU's Associate Provost of Undergraduate Education, overseeing and coordinating the development and implementation of undergraduate academic programs, policies, and support services. She is also an Associate Professor of Physical Therapy and Athletic Training at our Dorsey College of Health Sciences. A student-focused administrator and educator, Dr. Dorsey has been a distinguished member of our faculty for more than 15 years. She is also a two-time graduate of the university. She is a Billiken through and through. Please help me welcome Dr. Dorsey.
Again, good morning and welcome. We are delighted that you are here for the 2024 New Student Convocation and Family Welcome. On this auspicious occasion, we especially welcome our new first-year students, our new transfer students, our new international students, your families and friends. The students of St. Louis University represent many countries. When you graduate, you will share the mission of the university with the world. You will become flag bearers for this university. Today, we honor the countries represented by our new students by displaying the flags of their home nations. St. Louis University begins each academic year with a convocation ceremony as a celebration of new beginnings. At St. Louis University, you are called to a life of scholarship, community, service, and transformation. This is the start of your journey to create knowledge, pursue justice, and demonstrate leadership. This is the time for new academic pursuits, new friendships, new challenges, and new opportunities to grow in and with the community. At St. Louis University, it is also our tradition to begin important events with an invocation. As you are able, I invite you to rise as Father David Pasternastro of the Society of Jesus, a doctoral candidate in philosophy, and the Father Pedro Arupe, chaplain to the Campion Society at SLU, leads us in prayer. Father.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty and eternal God, as we come together at the start of a new school year, with one voice, we acknowledge you as Creator. We recall that you have created all things. We recall that you are the origin of all truth, truth which we now come together in this university to pursue. We recall that you have created us not to be alone, but to live together as one community. O God, as we begin this year, we ask you to help us remember how you have made us to flourish in community. Remind us how many voices together can help us to see the vast reality you have made. Give us the strength to encourage one another as we walk together in the pursuit of truth. Help us to experience and cherish the bonds of community that make the joy of discovery even sweeter. At this time of transitions and new beginnings, O God, we ask you to form us as one community, united in our hearts and minds, united in our desire to learn and grow together, united in our desire to serve you at all times and places. As you have created us to be together, so help us to remain together and grow together, so that together we may pursue your truth, your love, and your grace. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Thank you, Father Paternostro. Next, we would like to invite one of our students, Ruellen Arulanandam, to share her insights with you. A senior studying public health, Ruellen is the president of our Student Government Association. During her time at SLU, Ru has been very engaged in a wide array of co-curricular experiences. She has served the Student Government Association each of her first 3 years before becoming president. She is deeply committed to supporting students through their college transition, having served as an Oriflamme leader, a team leader, and a current coordinator. She will also be a peer instructor for a section of Cura Personalis 1 this fall. Ru has worked in the Office of Admissions and the Simon Recreation Center, and she truly embraces what it means to be a Billiken. Please help me in joining Ru.
Thank you, Associate Provost Dorsey, for the kind introduction. Good morning, students and families. All right, I think we can do better than that. Good morning, students and families. As Dr. Dorsey said, my name is Ruellen Arulanandam, and I am incredibly honored to be serving as your student government president this year. On behalf of our student body and Oriflamme, I want to yet again welcome you to the Billiken family. I hope you stay a while. Now, if you had told me 3 years ago when I was sitting in your exact seats that I would get to be the student welcoming you here today, I would have probably laughed in your face. When I first arrived at St. Louis University, I was wildly unsure of my decision to come here, unsure of what in the world a Billiken was, unsure of what a provost was, no offense, Provost Lewis, and really unsure of how SLU was going to accept me, doubts and all. If you resonate with any of that, I promise you are not the only one. Trust me when I say it is only by the grace of God, with the help of a lot of people here today, that I am here. So this morning, I invite you to stay with me for just a moment while I tell you why, no matter how you feel right now, I truly believe you are meant to be here at this very moment with these very people. When I was a first year, I hated when in a moment of doubt or anxiety, people would say things like, everything happens for a reason, or you're supposed to be at SLU for a reason. It seemed disingenuous. After the year we'd have of COVID and social unrest, to toss phrases like that around as a Band-Aid solution to the problems our families and our communities were facing. It felt especially overdone my first year through the college transition. Whether I was calling my academic advisor, begging to switch my major, joining a learning community, or even when I got my first failing grade. Y'all think I'm kidding? It was a 30%. So, pro tip from me, go to office hours. But at some point during my first semester, someone said something to me that would change my outlook on the dreaded phase, everything happens for a reason. They said, maybe you should replace that phrase with, nothing is wasted. Let me say that again. Nothing is wasted. At the time, after that devastating test score, and eventually changing programs completely, a lot of my time, my energy, my lack of sleep felt wasted. But now, looking back, I'm so glad that 17-year-old Ruellen experienced some failure. It gave me a chance, perhaps out of necessity, to lean on my friends and my family, to explore my real academic interests, not just what I thought I should do with my life. This time is precious. So hear me when I say that those times when that class seems unreasonably hard and your eyes are burning studying into the night, nothing is wasted. When you take a leap and join a club or an organization that feels completely new and you meet your greatest friends, nothing is wasted. When you feel that first pang of homesickness and you push through to that next holiday break, nothing is wasted. When you take a break from the books and the papers and you get some late night ice cream at Grand Dining, nothing is wasted. When you wave to someone new on West Pine and make a friend, nothing is wasted. When you find a cause that feels important to you and you feel the urge to make a change, nothing is wasted. When you go out and you explore St. Louis or even explore the world through study abroad, nothing is wasted. When you spend hours filling out scholarship applications and just one pulls through for you, nothing is wasted. Here at SLU, we are here for you. This is not wasted time. Look around the room. You are not alone. You are supposed to be here. Throughout your time at SLU, you're going to hear a ton of phrases that might seem overused. Phrases like higher purpose, greater good, for and with others, go forth and set the world on fire, Jesuit values, and about a million others. Lean into these phrases. Question them. Wrestle with them. They will not go wasted on you. These phrases, these classes, all of these people, they will teach you to critically analyze systems, organizations, people, and places to make them better. Throughout this time, you will also meet people who align perfectly with your values, and people who also seem diametrically opposed to them. Love them too. Some of my best lessons and most fruitful friendships have bloomed from disagreements that have actually allowed me to expand my perspective of the world. And here at SLU, as we strive to develop your mind, body, and spirit, something you will hear a lot, we are striving to make you whole so that you can leave here and do the same for the people around you. Whatever this experience here at SLU is for you, just know it will not return void. Being near to the end of my journey now, I wish I could tell myself 3 years ago that none of the laughs, tears, conversations, long readings, classes, or friendships would go to waste. But I can't. So here I am, passing it along to you. SLU is not the destination, friends. Trust me, you've only just begun. This is the first stop on your new journey, and every stop has a purpose that will shape you and change you. And for each stop, we will be here with you every step of the way. We are for you and with you. Remember, nothing is wasted. I, for one, am rooting for each and every single one of you, and I cannot wait to see you shine. Thank you.
Thank you, Rue. We know one of the primary reasons that you, our new students, chose to attend St. Louis University is our outstanding reputation for providing excellent education grounded in Catholic Jesuit values. As you begin this transformative educational journey, you should know our large faculty and staff are here to support you. One of those outstanding faculty members is Dr. Kim Levenhagen, Professor of Physical Therapy and Athletic Training at our Doisy College of Health Sciences. Dr. Levenhagen is a two-time graduate of St. Louis University who began teaching at SLU in 2006. She has been honored with numerous teaching and advising awards, including SLU's James H. Korn Scholarship of Teaching and Learning Award, the Phil Lyons Staff Advisor Award, the Doisy College Excellence in Classroom Teaching Award, and the Avis Meyer Outstanding Faculty Advisor Award. She has also been recognized several times as an honored mentor to SLU athletes, honors students, and to recipients of the Spirit of the Billiken Award. Dr. Levenhagen is a faculty member to the Women's Lacrosse Club team and to the Physical Therapy Association, Student Association. She has assisted with student recruitment within her school and on SLU 101 panels. It is our great pleasure to have her address our new students today. Dr. Levenhagen.
Thank you for the introduction, and welcome to all of you to St. Louis University. It was 40 years ago this week that I began my Billiken journey. During 40 years, I have been on this campus. I have been a student twice, as mentioned, a physical therapist at St. Louis University Hospital, a parent of a student. I married my college sweetheart, who also graduated from St. Louis University's law school, and I am currently a professor in the Department of Physical Therapy and Athletic Training. I came to St. Louis University to start a new chapter, ready to take on the world. Like many of you, I had no idea what a Billiken was or how the Jesuit mission would transform me into the person I am today. I started my journey at SLU with some rough and misshapen tools, but it was the opportunities and people I have met along the way that have helped me to transform and develop my tools for a successful start to each academic year, and I've been to a lot of them. So as we begin this academic school year together, I want to share with you my tools for success, and there are 3 of them. 1, develop and refine your academic tools. When I arrived to St. Louis University, I had never lived away from home before. I was anxious about the uncertainties of dealing with a new roommate, registering for classes, choosing a major, or just making a good impression. I was afraid my academic work would not measure up and faculty would recognize me as an imposter. Now, are you ready? I'm going to tell you one of my deep, dark secrets, and you are not to tell President Costello. All right, so are you ready? Can I hold you to it? I failed an exam at St. Louis University. It was not a 30%. I don't remember that part, but it was the bottom of the bell-shaped curve. I was actually the crack in the bell. So you can take those moments and you can let them define you, or you can light a fire. And I chose to light a fire. I chose the latter. It was such a humbling experience and one I carry with me. I changed my narrative, allowing myself to be vulnerable, and sought help from faculty, classmates, and the resources offered at SLU. If I had questions, I attended faculty office hours. I reviewed the syllabus and created a calendar so I would not miss important deadlines. Here at SLU, we have the Student Success Center, which can provide academic support and resources. Although my tools are more refined, I still have colleagues mentor me. I use many of SLU's resources to improve my writing and teaching skills. You will make mistakes and maybe have some failures, but be true to yourself. Be authentic. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Explore your values. Embrace your strengths. Develop the courage to face your fears and build your support system. By the way, I still got an A- in that class, but it was through many hours of hard work, perseverance, and time in the library. Number 2, develop and refine your relationship tools. In a 2008 study, students were asked to estimate the steepness of a hill. Students were tested alone, or they were tested with a friend. The participants who were tested along with someone they identified as a friend saw the hill as being less steep. They were more optimistic about reaching the summit. When I arrived at SLU, I only knew 2 people. I knew I needed to develop my relationships, and this started during Welcome Week with my Oriflamme leaders and my resident advisors. I joined campus ministry, a sorority, student government association, and yes, I too was an Oriflamme leader. Each of these communities helped to shape me, but most importantly, improved my resilience. In fact, I still meet monthly in person with some of the friends I met in the first weeks arriving to SLU 40 years ago. They continue to help me navigate those steep hills. All of you make our campus better. You bring different perspectives. You help each of us be better people. We learn from and with each other. I believe I can speak on behalf of my fellow faculty members that we value our time to meet with students. Use office hours as a time for mentorship and refining your tools. The Student Involvement Center can help you find your community. With over 200 student organizations, make the most of your student experience. I encourage you to develop one-on-one, face-to-face relationships to build your community and find true belonging. This leads me to my 3rd tool, and probably the most important. Develop and refine your self-care tools. I try to make this a priority at the start of each school year, although my husband has reminded me I'm behind. Just as important as it is to address academics, you need to address your physical and mental well-being. Become familiar with the many resources we have at SLU, such as the Simon Recreation Center, intramurals, club sports, counseling, and health clinics. You may want to check out the swings, the hammocks, sit by the dolphin pond. I intentionally schedule time to write in my gratitude journal, meditate, walk my dog, or exercise before I step foot on campus each day. On weekends, you can find me in Forest Park walking one of the many trails. St. Louis is full of history, so go explore. Find things to help you improve your mental and physical health. We all want you to succeed. We are here to help you to continue to develop and refine your tools. These are your academic, relationship, and self-help tools. So on behalf of the faculty and staff at St. Louis University, I once again welcome you as you begin your academic journey here at SLU. I welcome you to our community, and I cannot wait to see where your Billiken journey takes you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Levenhagen. St. Louis University sums up its mission and aspirations in a phrase you'll frequently see around campus: higher purpose, greater good. It means that all members of our SLU community serve a higher purpose as a Catholic Jesuit university while seeking the greater good, the best for all, the magis, or more for the world. Today, we have invited members of the SLU community, students, faculty, and staff, who will now share with all of you how they serve a higher purpose and seek the greater good.
Good morning. My name is Noor Isa. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a senior majoring in computer science. Through my leadership roles at SLU, I have learned that the strength of our community lies in our shared commitment to each other's growth. I work to create spaces where every student feels welcome and empowered and where diverse perspectives are celebrated. I serve for the greater good.
Good morning. My name is Brian Yothers. I use he, him pronouns, and I am the chair of the Department of English. We serve a higher purpose as we investigate the power of the word to represent reality, create beauty, and advocate for justice through our teaching and learning, scholarship and creative work, and service to our community. Through the stories we tell and examine, we serve for the greater good.
My name is Rebecca Tillett, and I am our head women's basketball coach. I am the parent of a senior Billiken. In my experience, I have found SLU to be a place where leaders and learners connect, work together to find meaningful solutions, and care about supporting each aspect of a student's growth and development in the university setting. In athletics, our objectives include educating, competing, and building community. The Billiken represents the way things ought to be, and isn't that a worthy way to spend our days? I serve the greater good.
Hey, beautiful people. My name is Russell Marvell Hooker Jr. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I am a junior here at the St. Louis University. For me, serving for the greater good speaks to my belief that we are here to help and rise with one another. In life, all we truly have are each other. Every day, I demonstrate this through personal reflection, which helps me ensure I live my life for others and that I am thriving with others. All of this helps me live my truth. I'm proud of all of y'all for being here. Welcome to SLU.
Good morning. I am Monica Carson Sharif. I use she, her pronouns. I arrived at SLU in mid-June to serve as the Director of Residence Life. I serve a higher purpose as a student affairs practitioner by ensuring that at the accumulation of the residential experience at SLU, students are holistically formed, critically reflective, socially and personally responsible citizens. Welcome to St. Louis University.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kaya Pritchett, and I am a senior double majoring in political science and bioethics and health studies, pre-law. My leadership, both inside and outside of the classroom, reflects a higher purpose of respect and advocacy for all humankind, regardless of race, gender, and ethnicity. The activities I choose and the image I reflect all support my service for the greater glory of God.
Hello, my name is Katie Hayden-Roots. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm a professor in the School of Medicine and assistant vice president in our diversity office. I'm a mental health professional who came to SLU because of the Jesuit mission to serve others. In my work, I seek to cultivate a community at SLU in the region and worldwide that sees the dignity and humanity of all people, especially our LGBTQ community members. In this way, I believe we reach a higher good where our diversity makes us stronger and more resilient.
My name is Dr. Gregory Triplett. I am the Oliver Parks Dean of Science and Engineering. We educate technical professionals that develop technologies at the forefront of society. We serve a higher purpose by teaching students how to work collaboratively to create solutions to societal challenges like clean and efficient energy, environmental sustainability, and social justice.
Good morning. My name is Maggie Callan. My pronouns are she, her. I am a program manager in the College for Public Health and Social Justice, and I am a proud parent of a new first-year SLU student, I think in section 105. In my experience, both as a SLU student and as a staff member, I have found that SLU is an enriching community that incubates ideas, nurtures growth and development, welcomes individuality and ingenuity, and values you as the next generation of Billikens. As an administrator working with students in public health, I am honored to play a part in creating that community for SLU students. I serve the greater good.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael McClory. I use he, him pronouns, and I am a senior in the Valentine School of Nursing. I am currently serving as our Interfraternity Council President and an Oriflamme team leader. Through these leadership positions and in various healthcare roles, I have been able to explore how I am best fit to serve others. As a servant leader and a future first responder, I serve for the greater good.
Hello, my name is Twinette Johnson. My pronouns are she and her. I serve as the dean of our law school here at St. Louis University. While I am new to the dean role at SLU Law, I am a two-time alumna of St. Louis University, and thus I know firsthand the value of a SLU degree. I am honored to live out my higher purpose along with an incredibly talented and dedicated group of law faculty and staff to educate SLU Law students into justice-minded lawyers who are equipped to serve their communities and affect meaningful change here, nationally, and around the world.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kofi Oyerifi, and I am a counselor for the RISE program. I use he, him pronouns, and I've served as a SLU staff member in multiple capacities for 8 years. I serve for the greater good by being a leader, advocate, and mentor, playing my role in making SLU a place for students to grow and thrive. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to SLU.
Thanks to all of you for your inspiring words. Our next speaker today has a very special role. Our Vice President for Mission and Identity, Father David Swalski of the Society of Jesus, will now come forward to mission our new students as they begin their lives at St. Louis University.
Morning. St. Louis University is a Catholic and Jesuit university that proudly takes inspiration from the values of the Gospels and the experience of nearly 500 years of Jesuit education. What's that mean? We seek to be in relationship with one another and with our local community here in St. Louis. These relationships are mutual and respectful, for we know that we have much to learn from others, just as we have much to offer others. We are men and women for and with others. Whether in a classroom or lab or in the library or catching some downtime in a hammock, we know that we're not alone. No, we're part of a community of faith and a community of learning that seeks to discover the face of God in the faces of all whom we encounter. No one at SLU is an inconvenience, just one more folder in a neglected file. All of us are persons who possess dreams, ideas, and hopes for the future. All of us are worthy of respect and of opportunity, and we fight fiercely to make this campus, this city, and our national society more just, more equitable, more like the Lord desires for our world to be. The founder of the Society of Jesus, St. Ignatius Loyola, wrote, "For those who love, nothing is too difficult." Friends, strive to love one another as you are loved. Starting from love allows each of us to live fully. Love shrinks anxiety, empowers trust, pushes us to risk. And love is what brought you here, most especially the love of your family that has shaped and guided you to this day. One of the great poets of the 19th century was a Jesuit, Father Gerard Manley Hopkins. One of his greatest poems opens with this line: "The world is charged with the grandeur of God. It will flame out like shining from shook foil." This university and all who are part of it, each one of us here, is charged with God's grandeur, empowered with incredible talent and intellect to seek out the world's grandeur in literature and in the arts, in science, and in flight, in performance, and in prayer. We foster curiosity, and like St. Ignatius and other great heroes of the Society of Jesus, we know that all that is possible here is but an invitation to go out into our often broken world to walk with others as companions on a journey. You have taken your first steps at St. Louis University, steps that will eventually bring you back to this arena in a few short years. Allow me to pose 3 questions to help guide the decisions you will be making here at SLU and beyond. Do I love it? Why waste your time and talent doing something that lacks passion or interest? Am I good at it? No one hopes to just be satisfactory, to just eke out a salary, or to highlight your participation trophy on a fireplace mantle. And does the world need it? Our world needs you to be makers of change, to be lovers of good, to be challengers to the status quo, to find new ways of doing, to value those who have been cast aside, to seek for justice, to be generous in service, to be a great friend, a great spouse, a great parent, or even a great priest for that matter. Now, as you came in, we distributed to you the university prayer book. I invite you to open it up to page 82. On that page, you will see a prayer of St. Ignatius Loyola, the founder of the society, called the Suscipe. Let's offer this proud prayer aloud together. Take, Lord, and receive all my liberty, my memory, my understanding, and my entire will, all that I have and call my own. You have given it all to me. To you, Lord, I return it. Everything is yours. Do with it what you will. Give me only your love and your grace. That is enough for me. Amen. Welcome to St. Louis University.
Thank you, Father Sawalski. It is now my privilege to introduce the president of St. Louis University. Dr. Fred Postello became the university's 33rd president 10 years ago. He is the first lay president in SLU's 206-year history. And this spring, he announced that he is stepping down as president at the end of this academic year. Under his leadership, the university has grown in enrollment, expanded its research profile, and set fundraising records. SLU has been recognized for its academic excellence, for its dedication to students, for its commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and for serving our neighbors and the underserved in our community. Dr. Postello continues to galvanize the university community around a compelling vision to be a global Jesuit university, one that is mission-focused, student and patient-centered, and research-driven, working with the people of St. Louis to reimagine, transform, and unify our city. I've heard him say that Convocation is one of his favorite events of the year. On this, his final Convocation ceremony as president, I hope you will join me in giving him a very warm welcome. Dr. Postello.
Wonderful to get that affirmation before I've even said a word. The spirit of true confession this morning, I'm sure that I too failed an exam as an undergrad. What are they going to do to me now? Good morning. It is a great morning. One of the joys of being in the academy is that it has a cadence, a pace to it over the course of a year. Next week, we're going to start classes, and things will begin to get intense as we gear up for the new year. And that intensity will build all the way up through November and into December when we conclude the term with final exam. Then we'll take a little break, there'll be a little lull, and then we'll come back in January, start the final term of the year, second term of the year, and things will get really intense. And then in April and May, as everybody's trying to wrap up everything for the year, and then we celebrate commencement and we're exhausted. And we get a break. Most of our students return home. Some go to jobs, some arrange through our career services program. Some will work with faculty and staff on projects. Our faculty will begin to reflect upon the past year, changes that they wish to make in the coming year. Some will get to spend more time in their labs. Some will go out to their field sites to do research. Our staff, like our faculty and students, will get a chance to have vacation. They too will reflect on the past year and prepare for the year ahead. And then we get to this week. This is a wonderful week on our campus, on any university campus, because people return. Our undergraduate students return. our staff return, our faculty return, and we welcome new members to this community. New members of our staff, new members of our faculty, and new students. We are gathered here to mark this moment where you join our community. This morning, you become Billikens. You are joining a university which was founded November 16th, 1818. We are the first university founded west of the Mississippi River. We are a university of many firsts. With St. Louis University High School, we are the oldest continuing organization in the St. Louis region. What happens here is impressive. When you were looking at colleges and universities, you looked at SLU. You applied, and we said yes. And you accepted our invitation to join this class. We believe that every one of you has everything it takes to be successful here. We are proud to have each and every one of you as a member of this community. We celebrate your diversity, and we are here to help you succeed. So today you become a Billiken. I guarantee you, over the course of your lives, people are going to ask you, what is a Billiken? Billiken is a mythical figure that serves to make the world the way it ought to be. There couldn't be a better mascot for us, given our mission. So today you become Billikens, and for the first time collectively, on the count of 3, I want to hear you new undergraduate students say, I am a Billiken. 1, 2, 3. Okay. My friends, good summer? Good to be back? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Can we try that again? Today, we are all here to welcome you as Billikens, to welcome you to this amazing place. So on 3, 1, 2, 3. I am a Billiken. Better, thank you. I want to tell you a little bit about this university, our university, this community of which you are now a part. Billikens forever. I describe our university as Catholic Jesuit International Urban Residential Research University. Don't worry, I'm going to go slow. We're going to be here for a couple minutes on this. Catholic University, what does that mean? We take seriously the faith and values in which we are grounded. We're not here to convert any of you. We welcome people of all faiths and people of no faiths. But we try to act consistent with the stories and values of the Gospels. Catholic faith based on the model of Jesus, and he is all about love. Love of God and love of each other. We are not perfect individually or collectively, but we strive to model that example. We are Catholic, based in this 2,000-year faith tradition. We are Jesuit. And you've gotten a sense this morning through Father David and Father David what that means, and through others and through orientation and other things this week. My favorite book, or one of my favorite books on the Jesuits, is called Heroic Leadership by Chris Lowney. And it talks about how heroic the men of this order are. They're self-assured, ingenious, heroic, and their model is based on love. And those are the 4 pillars that Lowney talks about in that book. The Society of Jesus in 2019 committed itself over the following decade, in which we are the middle, to 4 what they call universal apostolic preferences: showing the way to God, walking with the excluded, accompanying youth on a faith-filled journey, and care and concern for our common home, the environment, this earth, this planet. We commit ourselves to those. We are in concert with those. We are blessed at this university to have one of the largest Jesuit communities of any college or university in this country, including our 25 or so scholastics here in what they call First Studies, studying philosophy and theology. We have a new Jesuit center in the center of campus where most of the Jesuits active at St. Louis University live. Get to know our Jesuits. We are blessed to have them. It is this charism that forms the foundation of our mission here. Our tagline, higher purpose, greater good. Our mission, the pursuit of truth for the greater glory of God and the service of humanity. Billiken, making the world the way it ought to be. We are Catholic Jesuit, and we always lead with that because that mission is what most distinguishes us. There are 27 Catholic colleges and universities, 27 Jesuit colleges and universities in this country. We're the second oldest. We're proud of this history. We're proud of this charism that is at the center of who we are. We're Catholic Jesuit. We are international. If you haven't already heard, we have a full degree granting campus in Madrid, Spain. Many of you will study there, and for each person who does, it will be a life-changing experience. We also have literally thousands of international students on our campus. Many of you are international coming here today. We welcome you. The world is shrinking. We must be able to understand and work with each other across this globe. So we are international, and I hope you take advantage of the opportunities you have to appreciate and contribute to that diversity here and abroad. Catholic Jesuit International, we are urban. We are sitting right here in the middle of St. Louis, the middle of this city. We, as I said, with St. Louis University High, longest continuing organization here in this region. We participate in the growth and development and improvement and advancement of St. Louis. We collectively are engaged in everything that's going on to make St. Louis a better place. St. Louis is a wonderful city in terms of the arts. We are right next to Grand Center, an amazing art district with theater, concerts, symphony, jazz bistro. You will have the opportunity to participate in the arts here in St. Louis. We have the Cortex Innovation District, literally right next to our campus. You have the opportunity to participate in the innovation that takes place there. You will be able to take place in all those things that are moving St. Louis forward. And on the other side of the coin, St. Louis, like every major urban area in this country, has its social problems, significant problems. And we, this university, are deeply involved in working to try to solve them, to make this city the way it ought to be, to improve the lives of those less fortunate. Our students perform tens of thousands of hours of service each year. Much of it here in St. Louis. I invite you to get engaged. Participate in the arts. Get engaged in all the dynamism and opportunities to grow professionally in this area. And get engaged in making St. Louis more the city and region it ought to be. We have been an incredible stimulus in terms of the transformation and revitalization of Midtown St. Louis. If you would have had a chance to visit this area 10 years ago, it looks nothing like it does today. And that's because of the hard work of a number of people in this institution and our partnerships. And you can participate in further development that is coming. So we're Catholic, we're Jesuit, we're international, we're urban, we are residential. Because we are a residential campus, we have a larger staff than you would find at a commuter campus. Here you will find almost every club or activity you could imagine or want to belong to. I encourage you to get involved. As Rue said, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to grow, to follow your interests and your passions. It's also an opportunity to take advantage of all those people who are here to help you. Our professional staff is keenly interested in your development, in helping you grow, form, be successful here at St. Louis University, here in St. Louis, and beyond. They are here for you. Take advantage of it. We are Catholic, Jesuit, international, urban, research. We are one of the fastest growing institutions in the country in terms of sponsored research. We are the 4th largest Catholic university in the country in terms of sponsored research. Our research growth has been phenomenal. And you have the opportunity to work with faculty to advance knowledge in the areas in which they are engaged. Take advantage of that as well. Our faculty work with students in the labs, in their sites out in the field, in their sites internationally here on campus. You'll have opportunities because we are a research university that you would not have at a university that is not so engaged in research and scholarship across its faculty. And finally, we are a university. What is a university? At its heart, it is a community of scholars. Individuals who have devoted their lives to mastering specific areas of knowledge. The history of knowledge in that discipline, the theories of that discipline, the methods of that discipline. And those faculty in that community are keenly interested in grappling with the questions at the forefront of their fields. Questions that go right to the heart of our mission generally. So in the academy, what do? We pursue truth. We advance fields of knowledge. And then we transmit that knowledge. Our faculty are dying to share that knowledge with you. And that's one of the primary reasons you are here, is to acquire that knowledge. Take advantage of this student-centered faculty. This faculty who so dearly wants to stimulate your interest in learning what they have to teach, in working with them for your intellectual development. We push the frontiers of knowledge. We advance knowledge. We transmit knowledge, and we form the next generation of leaders. And then we apply that knowledge. Again, for the betterment of humankind. You are going to be with us for 3 years and 9 months as undergraduate students. 3 years and 9 months from now, almost to the day, you will be down on this floor, and it will be a joyous commencement exercise. So the question is, how will you spend that time? This is a resource-rich community filled with professionals, faculty and staff, who want to do all they can to help with your growth and development. And you have this amazing period of time, largely freed from the demands of career and family, where you can focus on yourself and your growth, preparing you for all that will come when you leave these arches in May of 2028. How will you use that time? Do you know how many millions of people would trade place with you right now to have this opportunity? Do you know how many people have invested in you? What we do here is expensive, very expensive. Your parents, your family is investing to put you here. Our very generous donors contribute mightily to build our endowment, to contribute to what we do here, including in scholarships, which many of you have been awarded. This institution foregoes revenue in terms of what we call discounting, put off deferred maintenance a little more and so forth, so that we can make it affordable to get you here. People who have gone before us, people you will never know, are sacrificing so you can be here as well as your families. How will you spend the next 3 years and 9 months? Will you take advantage of this and all that this institution has to offer? So many people would trade places with you. One of the things I did this summer is I went to Geneva after visiting our campus in Madrid, as I do every year, visit the campus in Madrid. And I went to Geneva to participate in the board of what we call Jesuit Worldwide Learning. So SLU participates in what we call JWL. And what JWL does is we provide online learning to refugees in refugee camps, SLU and other institutions, primarily Jesuit institutions. We are focused particularly on 2 refugee camps in Africa. And JWL provides this learning across the third world. Some of these people who are taking our courses to become educated are doing it at great personal risk because the government of their country does not want them to be receiving an education. They are putting themselves at risk for the online learning that we're providing. Here, we are serving it up to you on a silver platter. Take advantage of it. I talked to many alums, talked to many older people. I want to tell you a few things I've never heard. I wish I would have taken fewer courses in college. I wish I would have cut more classes. I wish I hadn't studied so hard. I've never heard these things. I have heard, I wish I would have taken college more seriously. I wish I would have taken more classes in history, philosophy, theology, literature. I wish I knew more about. We're not saying don't have fun. You're going to have a great time here. You're going to make wonderful friends as you've heard here. You may well meet your life's partner here. Keep the right balance. Get engaged. Remember what the primary purpose of being here is. Remember, this faculty and staff wants to serve you, wants to partner with you, wants to support you, wants to share their knowledge with you, wants to engage with you. Every one of you has what it takes to succeed here. And as Rue said, every one of you right now probably has some doubts, little insecurity. I met with, at the end of the academic year last year, I had dinner with the ingoing and outgoing e-board of the Student Government Association, and we talked. And some of the seniors, and these are presidential scholars, incredibly successful and accomplished, all remembered what it was like. They were graduating when they started, and they talked about the anxiety and the insecurity and the feeling that they weren't doing enough of this or that. It's going to work out. Manage your time well. Engage. And I encourage you particularly to focus on the courses at the core of our mission. The humanities, where we grapple with the big questions that will serve you well for the rest of your life. Understand the scientific method. Understand the basics and logic of the social sciences. Learn more about the arts and the beauty and joy that they can bring. Those are the things that are most fundamental and essential to a liberal arts education. Professional education is absolutely important too, but those things are at the heart of what we do. I think you're going to have a great experience. Keep in mind why you are here. And now I ask all of our students on the count of 3 to say in unison, I am a Billiken. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes, you are. Welcome to St. Louis University.
Thank you, Dr. Postello. We are truly pleased to have all of you with us today, and we thank you for choosing St. Louis University. Before we conclude, I would like to ask you to join me in showing our appreciation for the many wonderful student leaders, faculty, and staff who've assisted with move-in and fall welcome. Let's give a cheer for our resident advisors. Learning community peer mentors. Oriflamme leaders. Transfer mentors. International ambassadors. Commuter assistants. Housing and residential life staff, student involvement staff, facilities and custodial staff, dining staff, events services staff, and the countless other faculty and staff who have volunteered for move-in. Thank you. As a reminder, there are many fall welcome activities planned for today and the next several days. Please visit SLU's website or the SLU app for additional information. As we conclude this convocation program, our deans, vice presidents, and faculty will remain on the arena floor. The faculty members will assemble near their academic unit's banner. Also, President Postello would be delighted to greet our new students and their families and take selfies. We invite you all to come down and join us. We're serious. Please come down and say hello. Thank you, and welcome to St. Louis University.